Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Brahma Mira Striparan Takare. Banu Shashi Bhumi Sito. Buddha Guru Shukra. Shani Rahu Keteva. Sarvigraha Shantikara Bhavantu. Om. Hey, welcome to another episode of KozmicKev100. This one is for December 30th, 2022, and carrying on through the 5th, 6th of January 2023. So I'm saying Happy New Year to you as just to start things off. And let's just briefly go over what's going on right now. So first of all, looking at the moon today, we would find it in the constellation of Pisces if we're looking with our naked eye. This part's not the tropical forecast. This is the Vedic sidereal forecast. And so looking at the moon, we would see it in the constellation of Pisces. Looking at the sun, we would see it in the constellation of Sagittarius, even though we're in tropical Capricorn. So Sagittarius and Pisces, both Jupiter ruled. An element of good fortune coming as we're in this Friday. The ruling nakshatra of today is known as Revati. Revati is a crossroads. And so I think there's going to be a lot of review today as to where we've been and perhaps where we're going. Revati is about calendars, it's about maps, and it's about roads, and it's about hospitality. And its symbol is the fish going into two different directions. So very Pisces-like. And this is a tail end of Pisces in the sidereal zodiac. I think later on this evening, we will have, the moon will be in, well, it'll be in a place called the Gadanta tonight, the knot. So, I mean, I would say I would keep my pre-New Year's Eve partying kind of to a minimal because it could be really weird out there, folks. And Revati's ruling deity is Pushan. He's known as the keeper of the cows, bringing people home, bringing people to light. It is a good day for traveling if you do have to travel, though. And it's ruled by Mercury, Revati Nakshatra. So Revati being a crossroads. So this is about, endings and beginnings in a lot of ways, at least for this week. And the sun's moving out of the Mula Nakshatra and now into another lunar mansion known as Purva Shada, which deals with water as an element in a lot of ways and travel by water. And it's ruled by Venus, and there's this victory that comes from it. The winnowing basket, the fan, these are all symbols of Purva Shada. So we're moving in this direction of new beginnings and endeavors that are going to require effort and maybe even at times confrontation. And since it's a Venus-ruled nakshatra for the sun, that the sun's moving into, and it's all within the constellation of Sagittarius, which is Jupiter-ruled, those are the two gurus. So or the two benefics, and there's a lot of blessings that are naturally showered upon this time. And who doesn't like late Hanukkah or late Christmas presents, right? Late solstice presents or Kwanzaa. All these things are blessings, and so we're moving into this place of blessing. So with that said, we're just going to go sign by sign. These are going to be the tropical zodiac forecasts. So in Western astrology, we've got an Aries moon today. Aries moon, new beginnings, right? Straight up. Aries moon. Sometimes people get a little temperamental. Aries key phrase is I am. And so a lot of times there can be like an ignorant kind of selfishness because it's like, hey, me first, and people feel like, folks, it's not a race, it's not a competition. So keeping those things in mind too. And as we get into the weekend, and Venus and Mercury might be slightly squared, the moon, and so a lot of our things we're passionate about, we might be just slightly frustrated, and it's understandable. Compassion. Well, like I said, sign by sign, we're getting into the horoscope, starting with you, Aries. Greetings, Aries. Welcome to your horoscope. So, one of the biggest themes has been Mars retrograde for Aries in the third house. And like I said, the third house is actually a really good place for Mars, because the third house is about courage, and Mars also brings courage. Third house is the libraries, it's siblings, especially if you have brothers. If you're an Aries with brothers, your relationship to your brothers is really significant right now. And, I've lost a lot of people in 2022, and I can't, the list is pretty long, but I know people are sad about Christy McVie leaving from Fleetwood Mac. That she's a well-known person, it contributed a lot to musical expression. And I had a friend, Guillermo Mash, and Mark McKinnon, who had passed away earlier last month or around the beginning of this month, and it's just like, it's deep. We miss our people, and there were other people that had passed away this year. Carrie Wilson, Dave Kasikoff, Barbara Roberts, more others, just too many to mention. And in my own world, and I'm sure in your world too, because I know this goes all over the world. People in India watch this, people in England watch this, all across the United States people are watching. And thank you. And with that said, please don't forget to subscribe, share, or like this. I want to pass this around, pass this information. So let's talk about Capricorn time for Aries for a bit. Capricorn is about IUs, and Capricorn rules your 10th house. Straightforward. So a lot of your career stuff, a lot of your talents, a lot of your ability to heal the earth, to show your own self in leadership is going to come across during this period. And one of the things that's going to happen this week is Venus is going to move into Aquarius. So that's going to happen Monday evening, and that's going to highlight your 11th house. So like your social life gets a little sweeter. There's a good chance you're going to be making new friends. And if you're getting a new job this time of year, that's going to be part of it. So, and it probably will help you financially too. So I will say this, Mercury is retrograde, so things at work are probably going to have to get readjusted for Aries. They might be a little bit wonky until the 18th. Lots of big changes happening this coming month here as of New Year's. One of them being Saturn moves into sidereal Aquarius on the 17th. So that's going to really change things. A lot of that kind of harsher, more firm limitations that we are going through, that should ease up, and we should be able to make better social connections this year. All right. So, greetings, Taurus, and welcome to your horoscope. What do I see here? Well, this is a big week for you because Venus is going to move into your 10th house. So this is how you get it done. And that happens at 6:09 p.m. on January 2nd, Monday. And we're talking Pacific Daylight Time here. So I want to make sure that I'm 6:09 Pacific Daylight Time that happens. It's also a day that the moon moves into Aquarius, so it should, all in all, I think it's going to be, or rather Gemini, it moves into Gemini. So, Venus and Aquarius, moon in Gemini, it's like kind of positive, and I think both of it spells some gains for you, some practical stuff that's going to help you get your feet back on the ground. Who couldn't use some of that? Moon is going to go into Taurus, I believe tomorrow at Saturday, the 31st at 9:08 a.m. So New Year's parties are going to be about Taurus in some ways. It's going to be about people you're familiar with and establishing good relationships and affirming what you have, because Taurus's key phrase is "I have." So you're sort of like the star of the show for 2023 by lunar sign. Jupiter moving through your 11th house, it's sort of like, your 12th house rather. It's like for Taurus, it's time to let go of your disbelief and really cultivate a better spiritual life for yourself. That, and in fact for everyone, all signs, I was thinking, as of the last new moon, right after winter solstice, is like we're coming on to this better new way of dealing with our spiritual life that's just honest and fresh. Okay. All right. So, greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. When Mars is retrograde, they say the war is within. And Gemini's not like the biggest fan of Mars. Mercury and Mars are sort of got different approaches to things. Mars is like, take a risk, get yourself physically in shape. And Mercury is like, well, you can exercise all you want, but if you don't eat right, you're pretty much wasting 80% of your energy. And I'd have to say, Mercury is right from what I've heard, from what I understand. And Mercury is all about science. So, Gemini, there should be this edge of science to you, that you're investigating things. And the thing is about science is that the scientific method, yes, is pretty consistent, but science is always changing. And so there's constantly data that we don't know about, and there's probably stuff that's even hidden from the public that's been known. But doing your research, working on yourself. Mars retrograde is about working on yourself and saying, how can I build a braver self? How can I build a more in harmony with the earth self? How can I get rid of the evil that is within me? Versus looking, it's a time where we're getting the plank out of our own eye instead of focusing on the speck in our brother's eye. Now, Mercury is retrograde, so yeah, that's kind of frustrating. Where is Mercury retrograde? Well, Mercury's retrograde in your 8th house, so there's things dealing with other people's money that are out of your control. You might have been expecting to get paid and you're not yet, and it's frustrating. And this is how the world works. I think most of us run into a situation like this from time to time, and it's best to just kind of wait it out if you can. Because by the 18th, Mercury's going to go direct and things should start moving forward again in a good way. And you're discovering transformation. You're discovering change right now and dealing with that change. Okay. All right. So, greetings, Cancer, and welcome to your horoscope. Well, we're starting out, got Moon in Aries. That kind of highlights your talents and skills because that's your 10th house. That's what people see. People see your talents, they see your skills. Jupiter being there means that this is a dynamic career year coming up for Cancer. And you have to show some amount of innovation. You have to show some amount of strength and wisdom and persistence, also generosity, the potential for things being better for everyone. People getting raises at work. If you were a boss, inflation's been hard on people, and especially, when I think about the last 3 years on small businesses, it's been just incredibly difficult, and so supporting those people and really helping people in those kind of endeavors is going to be to our advantage ultimately. The big guys, they got lawyers, all kinds of people taking care of them. They're too big to fail, kind of. Except every now and then Goliath falls and Davy wins. So I would be aware. Mars in the 12th house, it's like sometimes talked about secret enemies. Maybe you've had a problem with somebody. I always think that, compassionate communication is the way to go. Being able to empathize with other people and just honestly call them out. Imagine why they're angry or what it is, and try to pretend at least that you were that person, and you're kind of, for some of you it might be buying into someone else's insanity just temporarily, but it could help make peace for some reason. Go ahead, add this in the comments below. Incredible amount of transformation, though, and change for you. I think things have been pretty sweet relationship-wise. But I think, things are, the lust level kind of comes up this week, and things about contracts might have to be gone over with again. All right. Well, greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. Capricorn time for Leo. Well, this is the 6th house, so it's like, which tells me watch your health, and uncles and aunts. Sometimes holiday season people, especially if they're in the school system, some businesses shut down a little bit temporarily, so people have more leisure to travel and see people, and the 6th house is sometimes a house of uncles and aunts, so they could be visiting you. It's also small pets, so if you own pets, taking care of them, and then your personal health. You might have something that's sort of chronic that you need to get checked out that's been bothering you, and at least when you go to a doctor you can get a diagnosis, and before you maybe take drugs you might see if there's other options in the natural world that could help get you better. There's a lot of doctors that are hip to that type of thing, and if you've got one of those doctors, you're a lucky person. If you've got a drug salesman, you're not maybe quite as lucky. It's all money, folks, and unfortunately in this system, compassion can be, occasionally gets blared out by money. I know my Chinese doctor was not like that at all. I have to thank him for the treatments he gave me the last couple times. What a blessing, what a gift. Gifting people is wonderful, and to be gifted is wonderful, and you're generous, you're known for generosity. On the good news, Leo, Venus is moving into your 7th house, so I think this is going to help you creatively at work. I think this is going to help you in your relationships, that they're going to become more sweet, and I just think that you're going to find a way. You're going to inspire others, and who could ask for anything better? And also your spiritual life picks up, at least even today, just having Moon, Jupiter in 9th house, there's this feeling of optimism and good luck and good fortune. All right, well, greetings, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. So, in terms of Virgo land, Capricorn is a great time because Capricorn rules your 5th house. 5th house is about opening up your heart, and the 5th house is about your children. 5th house is considered a lucky house. It's a good house for education. It's a good house for travel. It's a good house for performance artists to do their performance. So if you're an artist that's in the performing arts, music, even if you're doing visual arts, it's still a good house to show that. Even if you're a writer, it's still a good house because 5th house is 3 houses from the 3rd house of writing and communication. There's a lot of things to consider here, and especially though with matters of the heart. Matters of the heart should be moving better. Venus now moving over into the 6th house. Just taking good care of your health, not eating too many sweets, maybe getting a new outfit for work that looks nice, and just helping yourself spread beauty at your workplace and beauty in the ways that you serve others. Mercury retrograde, since it is in the 5th house in Capricorn, it's kind of like, oh, my creative mind is having a little vacation here, and I'm going to be working over on my creative subjects, and it might be like, well, I'm going to have to communicate over and over again with my children so they get it right. Well, hello Libra, and welcome to your horoscope. So Capricorn's a cardinal sign, and you're a cardinal sign. Cancer's a cardinal sign. Um, Aries is a cardinal sign. Relationship-wise, if you're a female Libra, this could be the year you get married. Because Jupiter is showing up there in the 7th house, so that is husbands in a female's chart. And for other genders, at least if nothing, positive friendships, teachers, better relationship with your father, perhaps all these things could happen. It's peacemaking. We are the miracle that we've been waiting for. And there are no miracles unless there's challenges. That's one of the things to make note of. And so just do the good course, respond to them appropriately, because every challenge is helping us become better, and every little inch by inch that we go. Venus moving into Aquarius, that's your 9th house. 9th house, or rather 5th house, pardon me. Venus in Aquarius in your 5th house, love should get better. For you, love is going to be better. Mercury in the 4th house retrograde, well, for Libra, Capricorn rules the 4th house. 4th house is a lot about home life. It's about our older parents and what they're struggling with, and what your relationship is to your house, what your relationship is to your ancestry, family history. All of these things are, in discovery right now. Okay, greetings Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. Capricorn and Scorpio tend to get along okay. It's a different place to be. Scorpio in some ways a little more unconventional with Pluto and creatively innovative, but Capricorn keeps things on track to the practical and to the big picture. Capricorn rules your 3rd house, so you're involved with writing, you're involved with your siblings, you're involved with short trips, you're involved with neighbors, gleaning information, libraries. I try to remind myself to read books more. I try to surround myself with uplifting books, with uplifting thoughts. There's so much garbage on the internet, and being able to have that garbage on your phone can be pretty awful. Some of it's really good though, too. I get into spiritual algorithms sometimes, and some of it's good. I won't say it all is, because I always think there's a subtle level of manipulation and profiling you, and because ultimately they want to get money, they want your resources. It's cherry picking. It's getting things from small people. It's strange. In a lot of ways, it's just empowering. So the more you can be empowered without turning on the internet, the better it is. I'm grateful if you turned on the internet and you're watching me. My God, thank you for liking, subscribing, and for your comments today. I appreciate you, Scorpio. Your key phrase being I create, and the 3rd house being a creative house, working with your hands. It's your creative projects, whether it's art, music, whatever it is, writing, you're going to get it done. And Mars and Gemini, we're going to transform what we thought previously was right. Greetings Sagittarius, welcome to your horoscope. So Capricorn rules your 2nd house. So in a lot of ways, those after Christmas sales and things, you're likely to participate in those more. After holiday gatherings with friends and family, that's probably a little more likely for you as well. And beyond accumulation of wealth, what are we thinking? What are we dreaming about? What are we supporting? Ultimately we want to support good things. We want to support things that are going to help other people flourish. I would say that when it comes to giving to others, even giving to ourselves, it's like, what is the end all with this? And a lot of times we have to support ourselves in good ways in order for us to be a better service to other people. So that's a part of it too. Jupiter Jupiter in Aries, really positive. Your fifth house. I mean, lots of happiness, lots of heartfelt joy and laughter coming your way this year. Possibility of children. I mean, and some people want that, and why not? I mean, children really bring us back to the core basics of what we need. Without them, the world it's a messed up place. You know, they haven't been gotten yet. They haven't been taken by the boogeyman. Although I do see people that sit, you know, they'll give a phone to somebody who's less than 1 year old even. I'm just like, oh my God, the horrors of it all, you know. But this busyness, this thing where we're treated like slaves and capital just to survive and get by. Let's do better. Let's honor the Divine Mother. Let's honor the nurturing of each other. Let's honor our innocence and help us have a return to innocence. Well, greetings Capricorn, and happy birthday if you are a Capricorn having a birthday this week. And welcome to your forecast. Let's see, who can I say happy birthday to? I think Catherine, Katie's, what she's turning. I think she's turning 33 today. Maybe, I don't know. I can't keep track of everybody how many trips along the globe they've taken, around the sun rather. You know, it goes quick, folks. You know, life is, even if you live to be 108, life is really short. We're just taking everything one step at a time. Life doesn't seem to go quick enough, and we're in a place of suffering or agony, though. You know, so there's a perception. You know, there's a perspective. I just want to say you've arrived. You know, Pluto is about transformation. So, if you're born in the later part of Capricorn, you know, 16th through the 19th, you've probably had a lot of changes going on in your life. You've had a lot to go through. Mercury and Venus is there right now, so that could definitely be like a libido charger. Jupiter in your fourth house is about having an expansion in your home and your home life. Venus moving into your second house could bring a need for more luxury in your life, and you know, you might be able to finally be able to afford a luxury item that you wanted in the long term, so that could stimulate some kind of happiness, I suppose. Uranus in the fifth house, it's like finding inspiration in new and unusual things. You know, that's good. Mars in the sixth, time to kind of work out. You know, the journey of working out's not easy. Even doing things like Wim Hof breath and taking ice baths or cold showers in the morning, there's some super benefits to that. Even though it might feel uncomfortable, I started the cold shower thing in July, so it made it easier for me to get through December. But yeah, there's great benefits. It does stimulate the immune system, and it does help you deal with stress as a whole. All right. Greetings Aquarius, welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, Saturn's in the first house. So this is probably one of the more mature places you've been. One of the things I like about Saturn transiting the first house is that it gives you this sense of wisdom. There's really a wisdom that comes with Saturn in the first house. So Saturn's transiting your first house right now, and you're a Saturn-ruled sign. So maturity, even though I know you pride yourself in being the weirdo of the zodiac, this maturity is helping you. Now Venus is coming together. You know, Venus is going to get there. It won't be like conjoined Saturn quite yet, but you know, you get a little bit more beautiful this week. Ooh, you know, you're looking good. I kind of sense that you're going to keep with your resolutions, and one of the resolutions is just to not force anything. It's just to do things with ease and maturity and think in terms of the long term. You know, just one step at a time, but know that there's a long-term goal. Sometimes you have to write contracts with ourselves to meet these goals. You'll be making new friends this year. Jupiter in your third house, a new relationship with your siblings. Maybe one of them went bad this year, but you can improve on that, and you can work on that, and you can benefit from each other. Family support each other. It's a beautiful thing. I think that's how it's meant to be. And Mars in the fifth house. I mean, for now, it's like you get joy out of movement. You get joy out of sports. You get joy out of the outdoors, exploration, taking trips. All right. Greetings, Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope. So, here we are, and just about to move into 2023. And, Jupiter was in your first house, back and forth, first to second, this year. And, even in the 12th. So there's been a lot of Jupiter movement. And Neptune's still in the first house. So you got a really good spiritual vision. It's like, what can I do overall to make things better? How can I be more of an inclusive person? And I don't think you become more inclusive by dividing everybody into little camps. I think it's just like, we're all humans and we all have different needs, and so how can we meet everybody's needs? And it's good, and sometimes there's people whose needs get forgotten that don't fit into the narrative. It's really important that we think what needs are regardless of the narrative, I mean, sometimes doing the narrative is good because you're virtue signaling, you're looking good, this is what the law wants, this is, But there's the law of spirit and the law of the heart that transcends all man-made conformity in a lot of ways. And so we get stuck sometimes in the conformed of the supposed to and do this or else. And, that type of thing. Coercion never works, right? Did coercion work well for you in the last 3 years? It didn't for me. I'm not about that. I want people to have a maximum amount of freedom and choice. And I want them to have their voice and to be free with that, and to realize that sticks and stones will break my bones and names will never hurt me. They might hurt my feelings temporarily, but that's somebody else. It's not me. I'm still can be complete and whole within myself and participate in something rather than being reactive, but actively encouraging good works, actively encouraging good conversations that are productive. That's a lot more positive, Pisces. That's where we want to go. I know that Mercury's retrograde in your 11th house, so there's a lot of confusion maybe in your social sphere right now, and you can just be a social support. Also, I sense there's some money coming in. There might be a lover from the past coming your way because of Venus in the 12th house. I mean, this is all just transitioning, and I think economically you're going to be pretty solid with Jupiter going into your second house. It might mean more expensive, but sometimes you have to play to pay, or pay to play, or something like that. But all in all, I just want you to know that I appreciate you and all of you, and I thank you for being here with me this week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I love your comments. Keep them coming. KozmicKev100. Thank you, BCA TV. Thank you, YouTube. And have the most blessed 2023 as we go into this new year.